Hi guys, it's Moody here, and today I wanted to show you how I make money in my Animal Crossing New Leaf game, because I actually had some people ask me because I talk about it a lot on my social media. So this is going to be my first Animal Crossing video, and what I wanted to preface and say is that I think you need to be at least 3 days in to the point where you can travel to the island. So make sure that you travel to the island, and the only thing you do need right now is 1,000 bells. You actually don't really need to carry any stuff in your inventory. It's not really necessary. But if you do decide to carry stuff in your inventory, he's gonna tell you that you can't bring it on the island with you. But what you can do is that he takes it for you, and what he ends up doing is just holding it for you till you come back from the island, and then you get all your items returned. So you end up going into this whole scene of him singing. Unfortunately, half the time I kind of wish I can skip these because some of them do get repetitive, but he does end up singing a song for you, and the only way I notice that you can skip it is if you're going with a bunch of people, and it gives you the option to sing the song and whether you want to or not. So the island is mainly where I end up making a lot of my money. Honestly, if you even have $1,000 and that's the only money you have, it's worth it just to go there because you can make back so much more. And the amount that you can make is going to be different depending on the type of ordinance your town has. If you don't have the money or the wealth ordinance, then you're probably gonna make around 300,000, and if you do have the ordinance, then it can go anywhere to 400 or 500,000 per run if you fill up your basket. So once you get dropped off at the island, first of all, I also wanted to say that the best time to do this is at night. Now, I'm going to list all the bugs and the times that they show up at the end of the video and just put them in a list. But I do think the best time to start doing this is 5 p.m. That's when they show up, and that's whatever you have in-game. So you show up on the island, and what you end up first doing is you have to run all the way to the outside and the actual island. So you'll see this these little things, and he lends you the tools you need. He literally has all the tools, so you can borrow them all if you want, but they do take up space in your inventory. So what I want right now is a bug net, a fishing pole, and an axe. And I'll tell you what you need to do. Steven and I actually came up with this because we ended up seeing that these bugs actually give you a huge profit. So once you have the axe out, what you just need to do is cut down this tree, and this tree, and this palm tree, and this tree, and this tree. Now the reason I do this is because when you try and creep up on bugs from this angle, you're probably gonna scare them off. So I see no reason to have all these trees here because it's just gonna waste the spawn point of the bugs. So I end up leaving these trees, and there's a bug right there that I can catch right now. Now here's a tip: if you hold down the A, you can easily sneak up on them, and then bam, except I screwed that one up. So that's unfortunate. And then also, I usually scare these things away. You leave, at least I left these 2 trees here. Now if you hold down A, make sure you just don't get too close, and you can definitely catch the bugs. So this bug, I believe, is worth 2,000 without ordnance. I kind of memorized all the values of them. So anyway, I also cut down these 2 trees. They ended up being a bother to me. If you really want to, you can also borrow the shovel and just shovel them out. But sometimes bugs still appear on the tree stumps, so there's also that. And if there's like a bug you don't want, you can always just run around it and scare it off. And then you basically just end up running around the island once you do cut down the trees that are in your way. Also, make sure to pick out all the flowers. When you come to your island, there will be other flowers besides these 2 bushels, which I don't really know how to get out. I mean, you might be able to get them out, but anyway, this is also one of the bugs that's worth 8,000. So you just creep up on it. You have to hold down A, and then as long as you get the timing right, you'll catch it. It does take a while, but eventually you'll be able to get the hang of it once you run around much, and then you'll be able to tell what bugs are good and what aren't. Like this one I know is also worth 8,000, so you easily catch them and they'll be added to your inventory. Now, your inventory includes the items you borrowed. So once you fill up the inventory, what you're going to want to do is go back inside and let the animation go. Once you're inside, you have to go over to this basket and just drop them off, so you will be able to take them home. Now, once you fill up the whole basket, you should probably go home because there's no use in being there. You cannot take anything outside of what is in the basket. If you have items in your inventory, the little people at the counter are going to tell you that you can't bring them home, and they're going to sell them at their own price and just add them to your savings account at the ABD. So you're better off just making sure you have the bugs that you want to take back with you, and you just keep running around the island and just hunting them down. Sometimes you'll miss them, but it just it takes a while to get the hang of it, but I'd say in about maybe half an hour you can fill up your whole inventory, and then you'll also be able to tell which ones are worth a lot and which ones aren't. And I will have a list at the end of this video, so once I just fill up my whole inventory, I will see you guys again, and we will total how much I make off one trip. Alright, so when you finally finish loading up your whole basket filled with bugs, which I currently did. By the way, I wanted to mention that the fishing rod is for if you happen to see a shark, then I highly suggest that you just go for him, because most of the time you're probably going to get something that's not sunfish. I think that's what they're called. I think that's the only low profit shark that you can get. So anything else I suggest you go for, whether you get a shark or a whale shark or a hammerhead shark. So when you decide to put all your items in, once you're more familiar with the value of each item, then try to make it so that the bugs you catch are each, like, you know, around 8,000 or more, because that's what I do right now. Right now I've got some horned atlas, I've got horned elephants, I've got cyclomatus stags. I've also got some golden stags, rainbow stags, and horned atlas. I believe that's most of the bulk of what I have right now. So once you finish up loading your whole basket, then you can finally depart and go back home. And they're gonna ask whether you want to go home or on a tour. You obviously want to go home, and then once you say you're going back, they're gonna say you're gonna be holding on to some items. Just make sure those are items that you don't mind selling for very low profit, because they just trade them in for very low profit. So if you have anything on you, then that's what they're gonna do. You're gonna lose out the items that you end up getting from that you end up borrowing, so those don't count. So unfortunately, on the way back, you also can't skip out on the song, and he's gonna sing the song to you, so that's gonna end up happening. But once we head back and we go back from the island, we will total how much money I made on this one trip. So it took me about half an hour to 45 minutes to fill up my box here with bugs, and we'll see how much profit that makes. Keep in mind that my profits are with the wealth ordinance, so that's also a thing. So if you don't have the wealth ordinance, you're gonna have probably less than I'm making, I would assume. So, and it also depends on the bugs you got, but my bugs, at least each and every one is worth 8,000. So that's what it is. And he's gonna put you back on the boat. If you were carrying any items before getting onto the boat, you're gonna get them back now. But I decided to leave my inventory empty just so I can maximize the amount of stuff I can carry. So you go into this basket here, you can grab out all the bugs. By the way, if you're going to a friend's island and you decide to go back home to your town, if you go inside your basket, the baskets transfer over, so you're still able to grab your items from your own basket in your own town if that's what you did. So we're going to run over to retail. Retail is where you want to sell it because they will give you the most amount of profit. And also if you've got a special going on where they give you extra on premium items, sometimes that really helps you out too. Sometimes they have certain bugs or certain fish that they'll pay premium on. So as you can tell, I have 0 in my bank right now. Well, in my on hand, so we will tally how much that one trip is going to bring me, and I am just gonna select all the bugs in my inventory right now. So this first stash is going to give me 165,600 bells for this one. So that's how much I made off this one full inventory. So basically what you want to do is just run back, grab all the bugs, and then just sell them to retail. It's a lot easier if you're closer to retail. Luckily I'm pretty close to retail, so all I gotta do is run back, and I think this takes about 3 trips total if I'm not mistaken. So trip number 2. Unfortunately, you also add a money bag for the excess bells you have, but either way, just keep filling up your inventory with everything you have. I mean, you can also donate them to the museum, but this is purely for profit. I've already donated the duplicates I've had to the museum, so I'm just making pure profit off of this right now. I think I caught a couple golden stags too. Golden stags, I believe, are worth the most on that island, going at, it's either 13,000 or 15,000 for one golden stag. So let's see how much I will total for my second full inventory of bugs right now, after I select all of them. Alright, the second one is going to give me 153,600 bells. So I so far have totaled 319,200 just on that one trip alone. Granted, if you catch more of a certain bug, for instance, golden stags, if you happen to come across sharks that are worth 15,000, etc., etc., you're going to make a bit more. Whereas if you come across some regular lower end stags, then you're gonna make less than the number I'm making right now. But we will just add the last of what I have here, which is just a few more bugs and a shark, and a hammerhead shark, and that will give us a total on how much this one trip of about half an hour has gotten me in this game. Right now I think it's almost enough just to pay off my current loan for my house expansion. So if I can pay that off in half an hour, I'm happy about that. So last trip is going to give us it's going to give us, after I add all of the rest of my bugs, this one's going to be smaller because I don't have a full inventory at all, but after she calculates the numbers, I'm going to have 88,000, so I'll say deal to that, and I've made a little over 400,000 in that half an hour of bug catching. So I'd like to say this is a pretty effective way to get money, especially to pay off your loans. So if you enjoyed this, you can feel free to thumbs up or like it or whatever you want to do. And hopefully this is helpful to you all. I know some people did ask me how I make money in my Animal Crossing game, and this is how. So I love you all, and bye.